We have some new video of a sailboat that broke loose and is floating away. This is along Flagler Drive. This was actually sent to us by one of our CBS 12 News engineers.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it is too late to make sure you've got your boat secure. And of course, if you have any video or you see any pictures of, you can go to chime in on our website, cbs12.com, and submit them, and we will put them on the air. Meteorologist Lauren Lesky back here with us now. Lauren, we're seeing more and more of the effects of Nicole right now on our coastlines.
This is it, and this is probably only going to get worse. Jen has been talking about the tides. High tide is at 8 o'clock. It was at 8 this morning. We're on our way to low tide. We'll hit high tide again at 8 this evening, and it's likely not going to look so good along our coastline if this is what we're already dealing with. At that point, tonight at 8 o'clock, Nicole will be much closer to our coastline. So we're going to have to monitor those coastal conditions very closely. Winds are coming in out of the east right now, or excuse me, Nicole is moving west. It's coming off of our east. Still expecting this to make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane, likely right near or in Martin County. They haven't had a landfalling hurricane since 2004. That was the year that Jean and Francis both made landfall in Hutchinson Island. So we'll watch this very closely. Winds are at 70. If Nicole strengthens to a hurricane, that's only wind speeds 4 miles per hour greater than what we are currently seeing. So it's not going to drastically change a lot of our impacts. Rainfall totals are continuing to increase. We just had a really heavy downpour fall over us at the station. You can see this downpour right here. Moving through West Palm Beach, we're going to see breaks in the rain at times. So we get these downpours that come in. The winds get really gusty as well, and then it calms down, and then it picks back up as more of those rain bands move on shore. We do have a small potential for some flash flooding today. There are no alerts currently in effect, but the Weather Prediction Center puts these maps out and has given us a possibility to see a little bit of localized flooding. This is separate from the coastal flooding. This is flooding due to rainfall. Obviously, if you live along the coast, that's where the coastal flooding has become an issue. Winds are sustained in Vero Beach right now at 21 miles per hour, 17 miles per hour right now in Boca. Haven't seen any of these numbers really change, but we have seen some higher wind gusts across our area throughout the morning. Here is a look at our hour by hour. So the rain, I should say, is going to continue to come on shore. This is 5 o'clock tonight, or this afternoon really. Heavy rain will continue to move in. Here's 7. More downpours outside. A few isolated strong storms could even fall within this. And then landfall is likely going to be a little after midnight tonight. Yes, likely in our area. By the time the sun comes up tomorrow, conditions will be improving significantly. And the second half of our Thursday doesn't look too bad. It will still be a little breezy. But of course, the windiest conditions are expected today and into early tomorrow. The severe weather outlook for our area does have Indian River and northern St. Lucie County under a slight risk. That's a 2 on a scale from 1 to 5. So slightly more elevated than what we have been dealing with. Slightly lower threat the further south that you go. Remember, the right side of the storm is the strongest side. So our hurricane hunters now leaving Nicole. They flew through this and they found those tropical storm force winds. And that's why Nicole has not been upgraded. When they fly through these storms, they send all that data back to the Hurricane Center, and then they use that information to put out our new cones and our new updates. So coastal flooding, a big issue. Let's bring in meteorologist Jennifer Collins now, and we'll talk more about those coastal flooding conditions and the threats that we have out there, Jen.
Yes, the entire viewing area, coastal spots, that includes the Treasure Coast and Palm Beach County, along the immediate coastline is under a storm surge warning. This warning takes up any sort of coastal flood alert we would typically get. Say we have a higher than normal king tide on a regular sunny day, we would get a coastal flood statement or a coastal flood watch and warning. Since we have a storm surge warning in effect, it takes over any sort of that warning that is issued by the National Weather Service. So storm surge really is going to be a threat as the day goes along. Coastal flooding is the primary concern, and beach erosion as well, especially as we get to that evening high tide. Storm surge amounts 3 to 5 feet along the Treasure Coast. That is water above normally dry ground, or water above the normal tide level. When we get a 3 to 5 foot storm surge, typically means much of beach area will be covered by water. If you live in a low-lying area, whether it's along the coastline, like if in a canal system, you might see water coming over your seawall or docks. We could also see coastal flooding moving into some low-lying areas, including low-lying streets that are near the beaches. 2 to 4 feet storm surge in parts of Palm Beach County as well. The greatest threat, why are we seeing this threat level? Well, it's because we have an onshore wind flow from the storm itself. Winds will be out of the northeast through the day today. We are leaving a full moon phase, so tides are elevated because we're in king tide season. So anytime we have a full moon phase, those tides are much higher than normal. Beach erosion is going to be a main concern when you factor in all those conditions. And then as we head towards that evening high tide mark at about 8:30 tonight, this is when we will see tides at their highest. When you factor in the onshore very strong winds as Nicole approaches our area, we will see significant coastal flooding in place as well as beach erosion too.